Millions of people will soon be able to claim back hundreds of pounds of compensation after being sold unnecessary insurance for their credit cards.
Yeah, up to 2 million cardholders who paid extra for cover can apply to get their money back. Customers of most of the UK's biggest banks, including RBS, Barclays, HSBC and Santander, are affected, and payouts could total up to £270 per card.
We're joined now by Sarah Pennells, who's personal finance expert from the website SavvyWoman.com. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in. I mean, I can remember getting a credit card out, actually, and them saying on the phone, you know, this product's available, it'll help protect you. And I was thinking, well, surely that's what my bank does. And this is what it's all about. Who is it that's going to be eligible to get this compensation then?
Well, the company behind this is probably not a name you're familiar with. It's called Affinion International, but it traded under a number of brands such as Sentinel, Sentinel Gold and Protect, which are much more familiar. And as you say, the whole point of the whole problem is that people were sold these policies that they didn't need, because the main reason lots of people took them was they got ID fraud protection, which they didn't need. And so these are the people who are now being sent letters sort of from now saying this is a claim form. If you want to claim compensation, this is how you do it.
So how do you apply if you want to get that compensation?
Well, you should be getting a letter between now and mid-September, and that has a claim form in it, and you have to use the original paper claim form, so you must send that in. It's about 4 pages long. There is one question that asks you why you think you're entitled to compensation, and really it's about being sold this ID fraud protection that you thought you needed, which in fact you didn't. You have to send that in by the 18th of March next year to be eligible for compensation, but people will start being paid their compensation within a few weeks.
So just to reiterate that deadline for people, they do have to apply for these payouts by March the 18th. I mean, it's one of these things that seems to have been, we've had PPI going on for ages, but actually this one then could be wrapped up pretty quickly. Is that the idea?
Yeah, there was a similar scheme to this for people who bought a policy through CPP, which had a deadline of the end of August, just about a year ago, the end of August last year. And the idea of these schemes is it makes it much easier. They sort of basically try and ask for people to claim all in one go. Last year, only a third of people who were eligible to get their compensation actually claimed it. It was 31%. Oh. So if there's one message, it's if you've got this card, if you had it between 14th of January 2005 and up to about August 2013, for goodness sake, get your claim form in, because otherwise you'll miss out on money that you shouldn't have spent.
And listen, any more in the pipeline? Because, you know, we see so many of these and the banks having to pay out compensation, don't they? Are there likely to be any more, or is this the end of it?
Well, I'm afraid I think you can never say never with the banks. And I think this is real frustration of people, is that, I mean, these policies were being sold up until quite recently, and we've all heard many times that the banks are changing, and certainly after the credit crisis, I think a lot of people, as long as these headlines are being generated, really remain to be convinced, and I can't say I blame them.
No.